Hey y'all, as you could tell, I am back in my apartment in Baton Rouge. I'm back at college. The last time I made a video was over winter break, so that's why I was at home. Things have been crazy busy this semester. I haven't gotten around to posting. I've been posting a lot of shorts, and I also have a new TikTok that is solely dedicated to books and book videos. I actually just made a bunch of like little mini books and put them in a jar. I just uploaded that video to my new TikTok account today. Here is the handle, and as always, here is like my regular social media handles. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I basically just post about book reviews, mostly, well, not even mostly, all of it is romance or fantasy, so if you're into that, then you definitely need to subscribe. Currently, I am reading The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Lauren Asher has me in such a chokehold. Girl, let me tell you, this is the third book of hers that I've read this year, because I didn't read the Dirty Air series. Like, when it came out, I honestly didn't even know it existed. I literally found out about Lauren Asher from the Dreamland Billionaires series when I saw the fine print in store. If y'all have not seen her face reveal, she is so cutesy. She did her first book signing a few weeks ago, and it was the first time anyone like knew what she looks like, and everyone's like, girl, you wrote those? You wrote those? She's literally gorgeous, and she's also a fantastic writer, so like double win for her. I'm just gonna give y'all a little reading update. I have read 5 books this year so far, which is like not the best, but let's talk about that. The first book that I read this year was Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, and Terms and Conditions is about Declan and Iris. Declan Kane, yes ma'am. Declan is Iris's boss. Iris is basically just like his assistant, and in order to get his inheritance from his grandfather, which is basically what all 3 books are about, it's about each brother getting how they're like getting their inheritances. And this book is Marriage of Convenience. Yeah, so at the last minute, the girl that he was supposed to marry like for his inheritance just like backs out, and it just doesn't happen. So Iris, his assistant, has to step in. She's really good friends with Cal, and basically she already like knows Declan like the back of her hand because she's his assistant. Obviously the trope is marriage of convenience. We love that, but you really get to see how Declan just like really figures out that he loves Iris, because at first he is literally like, okay, yay, we're married, yay, I get my money, and like that's pretty much all it is for him. Like, he doesn't even know her, he doesn't like know the things she likes, but she already knows all the stuff about him, but not in a romantic way. So it's really, really cool to see how it kind of like transforms from this kind of platonic like work marriage of convenience to them like actually falling in love, and then also separating them like just dating rather than like a marriage mindset because they're already married, if you get what I mean. But yeah, it's a really, really good read. I literally have a book hangover after reading Lauren Asher. So that leads me into the next book. Another Lauren Asher book, I read Throttled. So let me tell you, my family is really, really into F1. I think I mentioned this in another video. If you didn't know already, the Dirty Air series is basically just set in the F1 world. This book is about Noah and Maya. So Noah is like the world champion of F1. He basically just like is a reigning champion. He's super, super dedicated to racing, all that stuff. His dad is like really abusive and is like, if you don't win, I'm gonna slap you across the face, like that sort of thing. Like, he does not have a good relationship with his dad. His mom just like doesn't care and just like uses him for tickets. Like, he's not used to anyone like actually loving him. Maya's brother and Noah are teammates, so Maya's obviously around Noah all the time, and everyone's like, Maya, like he's a player, like he's really, just don't do that. But like Maya, obviously it's a romance book. Miss Maya can't resist, and girl, neither could I. Like, when I read some of those pages, Noah has got a mouth on him. I'm not even gonna get into that, but let me just say, this was This was good. So if you are not into F1, literally do not let that deter you from reading this book. It is not super heavy in like the analytics of like, oh, he was racing and then this car passed this one. Like there's a few scenes about it, but it's not like heavy. It's mostly about like the time in between races and like leading up to races. It's not like how some of those fantasy books literally have 30 pages on like the politics and the war that is going on, which gets boring. But yeah, that's not how this is. And if you aren't into F1 and you read this, you're probably going to be an F1 fan, because in real life those men are also fine. So I see why Lauren got the idea to write the book. So the next book that I read, I actually left it at home just because like I didn't have any space in my luggage. The next book that I read is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I know that this book gets a lot of bad rap because they're like in high school. Girl, I don't care. Personally, just me, personally, I don't care. If you get offended and like need trigger warnings, then go and like look those up. There's like sexual assault and like abuse and things like that, and bullying is like the biggest thing. But personally, I was fine with it, and it was like 5 out of 5 on the spicy scale. I think I rated it a 3. I know like some people like are like ride or die for this book, but I don't know. I wasn't as like invested in it as I thought I would be, and maybe it's just because it's not like the specific trope that I like. It is about Misha and Ryan, and basically when they were younger, both of their teachers, like Ryan's teacher thought that Misha was a girl and Misha's teacher thought that Ryan was a boy, so they like paired them up as pen pals and for like a little class project. And even after the class project in elementary school, they just kept talking. So now at this point they have been talking for 7 years and just like writing letters back and forth. They have never seen each other's faces, nothing. So then one day Misha and Ryan just happened to be at the same place. It's like an event for Misha's band, and Misha puts it together that like, oh my god, that's Ryan. But like Ryan doesn't know at all. So basically Misha has some like pretty traumatic things happening, and he gets to see how Ryan is at school versus like in her letters. And basically she's like the biggest mean girl bully on campus, and he's just like, what in the world? Like, why did you lie to me? What is going on? So he basically just like torments her and is like, what are you doing? Literally, like he literally bullies her back. But then ultimately, obviously it's a romance book, like they get through it, whatever. But that's basically the plot of the book, is just like him literally like trashing her at her school and her not realizing that it's him. So it's like a friends to lovers, because like they love each other from like the letters because they just like know each other so well. But it's also an enemies to lovers, because whenever they meet, Ryan doesn't know that it's Misha, but Misha knows that it's Ryan, and he just like torments her and he just like hates her in person. So it's really, really awesome to see those like dual perspectives of like, oh my god, I really expected you to be like this, but in reality you're just like really mean. But then she's like, I'm not really mean, and then that's like basically the plot. But yeah, it is pretty interesting. There's a library scene, there's a few of those, like they're really spicy. And yeah, Penelope Douglas, that's the first book that I've read of Penelope Douglas. I'm kind of ashamed to say it just because of like how often her books like just come up for me. I've been wanting to read Birthday Girl, but yeah, just haven't gone around to it. And if you have any like specific Penelope Douglas recommendations, please let me know. The next book that I read is The Roommate by Rodie Danan. This book, do not let the cover surprise you. Do not let it surprise you. This is the UK cover. The US cover is like pink, and it has them like sitting on a couch. Like I'm sure you've seen it in Barnes & Noble. But this is the UK cover, and it looks like a cute little rom-com. The back was like, I did not look up anything before I read this book. I didn't see TikToks. I didn't see anything. All it says is that like Clara moves across the country for her childhood best friend. like her childhood best friend and her childhood crush was like, please move across with me. And then basically she gets to California and he's like, JK, I'm actually going on tour with my band and I rented out my room. So now you have a complete stranger for a roommate. And she's just like, literally, what is going on? And obviously, if I was her, I would be upset. Like, I would, no. I would be like, I'm going back home. I'm going back home. But her family has, like, a bunch of scandal. They're really, really high up in New York. So she's just, like, trying to get away from all that and, like, become her own person. And she was just really gonna try to make her childhood best friend fall for her, but now her plans have changed. In comes Josh, and he's like, hey, I'm your roommate. And basically, she finds out about his job. And she's like, oh my god, that's awesome. I didn't know. Like, if you already have read this book, then you know, but, like, I didn't know. So, here's a spoiler. Skip, like, 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. But on the back, it says, once she finds out, like, how he made a name for himself, like, it gets a little awkward. He is an adult film star, if you know what I mean. I didn't know that. So I read that. I was like, this cute little book. What? This whole book is about them, like, starting a adult entertainment website that, like, empowers women and, like, things like that. Like, it has a really, really good message. But for me, I rated it. I'm pretty sure I rated it 3 stars on Goodreads. It just, like, once again, I just wasn't super invested. I understood the message and, like, I liked that the spicy scenes were really good. She couldn't tell if it was, like, his work or if it was, like, him liking her, but in reality, because of the dual perspectives you read, that, like, no, he just likes her, and that's just, like, what the book is about. So the last book that I read this year, don't even get me started, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Also, this is another one of those, do not let the cutesy cover fool you. I posted one of the spicy scenes on my new book TikTok account, so you need to go watch it so that you can read one of those pages. It's amazing. If you are really into hockey romance, like you like the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, then you will like Icebreaker. So basically, this is about Anastasia Allen and Nate Hawkins, and basically he is captain of the college hockey team and she is an she's trying to be an Olympic figure skater, so she's just, like, obviously doing it in college. Someone sabotages one of the ice rinks at the college, so the hockey team and the figure skaters have to practice on the same rink for a certain amount of time, and they literally hate each other. They're like, Anastasia's literally like, get off the rink, I'm trying to go to the Olympics, like, please get off the rink. But ultimately they become friends and then they start liking each other. And also, just like with Noah Slade, Nate Hawkins has a mouth on him. Anastasia's partner ends up getting hurt, so Nate, like, steps in eventually and is like, oh my god, I'll be your partner. But that's, like, a lot later in the book. Look, it took me a while to get through because I want to say, like, this much into the book, I felt like the story should have been over. I would definitely say the last, like, 150 pages or so just, like, honestly didn't need to be there. Like, it was still good. So, yeah. There you have it. That is my little book update for y'all. I'm going to make a reading vlog with the next book that I start reading because I'm almost done with the final offer. And things have been crazy. I just had spring break, so now things should settle down and I will be able to film more. I'm going to keep posting shorts. I'm going to keep posting TikToks. So make sure you go follow me on there. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you in the next video.